If you have been looking for ways to raise funds for your pig farming business, this is one of the reasons why most of the business plans never get looked at and then they are discarded by the potential investors. Sometimes we present some business plans and assumptions or projections which are not realistic, and to you the farmer you might not see this, but the investor or somebody who is coming with his own money to put in your business knows this and will definitely see that this is not achievable and maybe you are exaggerating it. So they will not invest in it. Sometimes they will not even give you any reason why they are not investing. But this is also one of the reasons. So I also got this question asked that what could be the reasons why I have applied for several funding opportunities, but none of them ever even contacted me after I submitted my business plan. It is basically most of the time based on this side of the business plan, which is the growth estimations you make or the growth projections you make for your farm. Pig farming is not like any other business, but especially livestock is a different thing altogether. Okay, so let's look at something and why you might be doing something wrong in your business plan that is not helping you getting the funding you need for your business. So let's look at something like this. Here, rules baseline. So in case in your business plan you submitted to the investor and then you said you want to start with 100 pigs in the first year. No, you want to start with 100 pigs. So in the next year, you want to increase it and then take it to 140 pigs. And then the subsequent years, 196 pigs, 254 pigs in that order. And the growth rate is maybe 40, 40, 30, 20, 50. This one is realistic. And maybe based on your experience, you'll be able to manage the farm effectively and profitably. With this, the investor will see that you are capable enough. But assuming you just started with, you are just starting out in pig farming and you presented a business plan containing this information. You told the investor that you want to start with 100 pigs and the following year you want to increase it by 40%. Okay, and then the next year to 50%, and then 60%, 70%, 80%. I'm not just making these values up because I have seen business plans where pig farmers give these projections in their business plans. And imagine you starting with 100 pigs and you want to get or you want to take 1028 pigs to the market in the fifth year, which is very, very unrealistic. And the potential investors will definitely not like to invest in your business. Imagine you just 1 year, you take 1028 pigs to the market for slaughter or whatever purpose you're producing them for. This, the investor will likely not do it, especially in our part of the world here. It is very, very and highly unrealistic. People will not even look at it once they see the growth rate. But with something like this, it is not bad for you to start with 100 pigs as a beginner or even a farmer. But once you start with the 100 pigs, the growth rate should be realistic. Maybe 40% in the first year, it is realistic. Then you start reducing from this point, maybe to 30%. Okay, and then you take it back to 25%. You reduce it, maybe 20%, and then you come down to 10 or 15. Something like this. So you are telling the investor that in the first year, you are like you want to start with 100 pigs, and then you are anticipating to get 140 pigs in the first year. And then the second year, you want to supply 182 pigs. The third year, you want to supply 227 pigs. And then the fourth year, 273. Okay, so this one, it is a bit realistic. And anyone who looks at it will know that you are capable of achieving it. And with that, if they're giving you the money, they know you know what you're supposed to do. And there's no need to fear anything. But you starting with pig farming and then your percentage is always increasing. It is very bad. Percentages should not have to increase the growth rate. You can start with 10 and then 15, 20, but once you get to a point that you see that the farm will be a bit unrealistic or unmanageable for you, and then from there you start to reduce the percentages back again. It is no harm. Reducing the percentages doesn't mean your farm is failing. It is doing well because imagine you have 500 pigs and then just increasing it by 5%. You still have more pigs to add in the following year. It is not bad. You are doing well as a farmer. So don't just let the projections be so enticing and then convincing that you always keep increasing your percentage just to make the investor feel that your farm is always growing and it is doing well. Though it can be nice on the paper, going to the farm to do this or experiment it yourself, that is where you face the real challenges. And as investors, they want their money back. You can't present this to me and then the following year you come and be giving me stories you couldn't achieve them and what was they will not listen. Okay, one thing is they will definitely look for their money. They'll ask you to refund their money, which maybe at that time too, you can't sustain it by yourself. You need people on board. So with something like this, I always say if maybe I am starting and I'm starting with 50 picks, maybe 40, 45 sows and then 5 balls. Okay, with this, I can increase my percentage, maybe just take it to 60% in the first year. And getting 80 picks in this first year is not bad. Next one, I can also increase it by like 50%. Okay, so something like this is not bad for you. Okay, if you start with small number of picks but you want to grow rapidly, maybe there's a very huge, maybe there's a very huge demand for the market in your area and you want to capture the market before competitors come in. In this case, if you increase the percentage higher so that you start capturing those people, it is better. But in a very competitive market where people are competing to even get a limited number of people available, the customers, and you are now increasing your production anyhow, it means you will struggle to even sell your animals. And once the pigs reach market and they are not being taken out, they are still eating into your profit and you're not going to make any significant profit from what you're doing. You rather run into loss. So it is very, very realistic for you to put something that you can manage. Don't assume that investors don't know what they're doing. They really know what they want from a business. And with this, like what I just said here, if I started with 50 and then I increased it by 60%, the next year 50%, and then the following year maybe 30%. Okay, so you can see that from 50, 80, 120, 156, it's realistic and it's a bit close. With this, you are telling the investor that once your farm is growing, you're also growing and you are capturing more customers as part of your business. With this, they'll get to understand your business plan better and then they will look out to fund you very, very well. I've also come across business plans for pig farming where the person was able to increase his farm production after the fifth year by 100%, sometimes by 120%. I was shocked. Unless maybe the previous year you have only 50 pigs. In that case, 100% gives you 100 pigs on the farm. That one is okay. But you having 500 pigs and then you are increasing it by 100% again, 1,000 in the following year. How do you supply these pigs to people or your customers? So don't do something that will overwhelm you. Imagine it and then put yourself in the shoes of the investor. If you are the person, will you invest in this kind of business? It's not realistic. Okay. So I always say if you can't, it's not bad to start with 30 pigs. 30 pigs, then you can take the percentage to 70 in case there's demand for pork in your area. 70. And then you can also maintain the 70 and then bring it back to maybe 50. From there, you can come down to 30. Okay, so you see 30, you're not getting 169 pigs. With this, even if you increase it by 5%, let's see the number you get. You get to 177. You are still growing as a farm. It's not bad for you. So always make sure your percentages are doing well. And in case you also need this document to go through and then to follow through, be able to do what you are supposed to do on your farm, you can let me know in the comments and maybe I'll upload it somewhere so that you can get the link to go there and download and give yourself favorable assumptions before you start to burn out on your farm when your expectations are not being met and your investors start chasing you. So if you're not getting investment for your farm after applying for several opportunities, this could be one of the reasons. Your projections are unrealistic.